Our goal today is kind of talking about customers and imports and how they work and stuff. And so we just barely got back from our break, and what we were doing, just as a recap of this morning, Shannon, maybe you can kind of help us with a little recap of what we've done this morning.
Sure, definitely. So Joe had some questions actually about importing data specifically into Adilas, so customers and part numbers, and he's looking at some potential clients and wondering how the data works, and we're talking about using worksheets or tools as well, and using that to import stuff into Adilas. And then we basically went into some FlexGrid for quite a while and just showed how you could customize it to show whatever you want, and just some different tools within Adilas to help a lot of business functionality that's happening currently in a business.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we can bring it into Adilas, and yeah, so we went into FlexGrid, we showed some custom pieces that we made up on our own.
Awesome. Can I show you something that's fun if you want to see FlexGrid going to a whole nother level?
Yes.
This is FlexGrid on a multi-level piece, okay? So FlexGrid has to have a host, a main piece, correct? So really quick, just so you know, FlexGrid technically kind of connects to a bunch of different pieces. And I'm actually going to go here because this is the best document to show FlexGrid, okay? So FlexGrid, it can be connected to all these different players. What happens is each player can get tons of FlexGrid and or take FlexGrid, they take the yellow and they would virtually combine themselves to the different pieces, okay? FlexGrid just can't exist all by itself. It has to have a host. It's almost like, I don't know if I necessarily want to go like a parasite type analogy, but like think of a tick. It doesn't do very good if it doesn't live on a dog or if it doesn't do anything. Like FlexGrid has to have a host piece of the puzzle, and so that's probably not the best analogy. It's not a parasite by any means, but what I wanted to show you is something that we have done earlier today. We clicked on, this is a teacher-student interface, kind of a custom little interface. If you click on core data, basically what happens is here's the filtered students according to this particular teacher. It's all done by permissions. And to add core data, you would just click on a simple little button and it walks you through a process. 5-year-old, this guy's doing some social and emotional, some social study stuff, and he's basically going to be doing some other pieces of the puzzle. As you jump through there, he realizes that individuals are similar and different, and I'm going to go ahead and give him at a functional level of that and say add the core data. So technically what we did is we added some FlexGrid for him on the similarities between individuals, and we're just slowly adding more and more core data. Well, here's something that you probably have never seen. This is brand new. It was actually launched probably 2 days ago. If I go to the same spot, what happens if I want to take core data on multiple ones? So say I'm a teacher and I'm actually reading to some students. And this particular analogy is dealing with students, but this could be customers, it could be invoices, it could be whatever you need it to do. Watch this. Click. Like you can do all of them, or you can just say, I just needed Wendy, Bob, and Melissa. Okay? Come down to the bottom and I start taking the same thing. They're all 5-year-olds. We're all doing English, and we are going to do literature. Actually, let's do speaking. Okay? Click. Okay. All of a sudden, I can now take multiple data points on multiple people based on what's happening. Say we were doing asking for help. Okay, Wendy was beginning. Kind of shy, or whatever you wanted to do. Bob, he was very functional. Couldn't get him to stop, you know. Whatever you wanted to do. And Melissa was mastery. She led the discussion. Okay, so basically what this is a custom little piece, but it's basically going to say, I know that I have to add FlexGrid, but guess who I'm going to add it to? Host, host, and host. So when I say finish, click, hey, just so you know, I added 3 data points, okay? So I'm going to go back to my limited student list, and I'm going to click on, I believe Bob was one of them. If I scroll down here, here's his functional. Couldn't get him to stop, okay? Like, it literally went out and added all those different little pieces of the puzzle in bulk. And so that's kind of a new, watch this, I'll go home and I'll say, for my data points, what did I do today? Melissa, Bob, Wendy, 5-year-olds, English, ask for help, she didn't do this, she did this, she did this. So I'm already connecting in bulk. And so that's kind of new. We've never been able to show that before, but these are just some of the functionalities of where some of this data could actually go and such. Shannon, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, that's really neat to be able to add in bulk.
I think it'll help out the teachers a ton. And so
I think a lot of people, even what Joe was just asking about, he wasn't here to see you add in bulk because he was talking about that bowling pro shop, but how nice would that be if they set up some of their flex grid, so maybe you'll just want to show them that again, and then they added it all in bulk and went through and just pounded it in for all their customers.
Yeah,
Saved
yeah.
time. I mean, that would be so much faster.
It would be. So I think that's going to actually be pretty cool, and it just makes it so it's
Is that
really,
available for everyone? Or right now it's just custom on the
currently
teacher website?
that is custom code, but that's our first attempt at it. We've had a couple other people who are like, oh, I'd love to add FlexGrid in bulk. We have some companies that they will create a PO and say they're growing something, and they actually have to grow something for a specific person. Well, if you look at the map, a PO is in no way connected to a customer, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Specific, like as far as what we do. And so check out this. Say somebody who has a PO that they're putting plants that they're making or growing, and they have to tie it to their customers, and they're using FlexGrid to kind of make this whole thing happen, because that's how you would create that dynamic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you were able to be like this. Go show me all of my customers. Which one are actually going to be assigned to this particular thing? Click, 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 doop, doop. Like adding any of those sort of things. Like, oh, he wanted 4 of this, he wanted 6 of this, he wanted 7 of this. But then you're creating this little order, if you will, of what's going on, instead of it making it a single one-to-one relationship. One PO to one customer for one item. Like that's kind of tedious, but you could there are lots of ways you could use this. It just kind of depends on what is needed.
Definitely. That's a really neat tool. That would be great.
It'll be kind of fun to see that one go to different levels. But anyway, this is kind of fun. This is just a little custom teacher interface. But once you start getting your data in here, you're able to search it really quick because it's already pre-filtered. So like if I was one teacher and if I clicked on my today's data points, it would be completely different than another teacher. Another thing that's interesting is if I'm trying to take just core data on certain people, these are limited to me. And the way that works is if I actually click on Wendy and then I go to edit that particular student, way down here, we flip-flop some stuff. Instead of saying, what is your default main salesperson, we changed a setting and called it teacher. So all of a sudden, you could assign it to exactly who you wanted to in your list. And depending on their permissions, you could technically, if I assigned Wendy's information right here to, I'm currently under Brandon right now. Let's pretend that it was under...
we didn't have any of our Adilas demo data points we put in when we pulled up what you did today.
Well, yeah, it's because it's
Exactly,
filtered
because
by
it's
me. And so like
Exactly,
you can that's just layers and stacking of the permissions and such. But good stuff. Good stuff. Awesome. Any other questions? That was kind of a quick little thing to even show like a multi option. It's the first little teaser. Sometimes what you have to do is you have to create these little teasers like somebody has a need. Every single thing inside of Adilas is somebody who's been like, I need that, I need that. And so what we do is we build it just barely and it kind of functions. And so if you want, think of like a rough ball rolling. You block it in and it's a little bit chunky and funky monkey or whatever you want to call it. And then as it gets smoother and as it's like, oh my goodness, more people need this, we develop more and more tools and then you're able to consume that. But imagine if you were able to build your bulk FlexGrid pieces on the fly. Like some of these things are just ideas now. Like, they don't even exist and it still may be months. But like, imagine if you had the capacity and put it in your hands to kind of be like, cool, I'm going to set my flex grid up like this, and then I want to be able to use it in bulk or do it like that. So we're seeing a lot of different things that are bulk type features that people want to use. Even potentially adding multiple things to a calendar. Imagine how cool this would be. What if you actually had a calendar and you're like, you just wanted to plug in, like instead of actually going and saying create a new element of time or create a new this, you were able to kind of virtually go through a little thing and blah, 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 and then it would automatically populate to those levels. So that would be kind of cool. So anyway, we're not going to jump off into multi-levels right now, but that's something that I think would be pretty cool. Shannon, did you have any questions? If not, what I'd like to do is I'd actually like to switch gears and have you kind of teach us a little bit about customers. Okay, we'll switch to just a normal customer site, if you will. I'm currently logged in as me. Let me log out and we'll go into Adlis demo.